See, if this was men, they defend each other on their same team. I mean, men will fight from two teams, but when somebody checks you on who's on your team, you defend that guy. The league is very lesbian, and she's not. And there's race. There's a lot of going on.
Caitlin Clark's new contract has gone viral, and it's not just any deal. Rather, it's the kind of move that leaves the other WNBA players stunned and perhaps even a bit worried. Let's examine how we got to the point where the league as a whole is on edge over one player's contract.
Now, there's also a racial element to this. We can't deny that. And I have Charlemagne on next week. I'm going to talk about it with him. So I'll get you off the hook. But I'll just say it's not always racism when a white person succeeds.
From her college days, when she was dropping crazy numbers, to her position as the WNBA's face, Clark's ascent to fame was swift. Her name is now synonymous with excellence, and her appeal extends beyond her fan base. She has everyone talking and creating an unavoidable buzz.
Driving to the game today, obviously it's annoying because there were way too many Caitlin fans in our but like, it just kudos because it's amazing to see so many people in women's basketball jerseys. It's amazing to see the excitement and the joy that comes out of that. So although I feel like our Dallas fans could have done better, I had mixed feelings, obviously, seeing all the Caitlin jerseys in our home, but it's an amazing sign for women's basketball, and it's just great how far we've come. It's just fun.
Although the WNBA has always had notable players, Clark's influence is unique. There's more to it than that. It's not just about the money. It's also about what this contract means for the WNBA's future. Let's talk numbers. Her games draw enormous crowds, and her ability to pull off jaw-dropping plays is unmatched. She's already one of the biggest names in the league, and this new contract just solidifies her spot as the top player. Although the details of Clark's contract have not yet been made public, insiders claim that she easily ranks among the highest-paid players in the league's history. We're talking about a multi-year contract that could reach enormous sums for the WNBA, which has historically had smaller contracts than its male counterparts in the NBA, and that's where the fun begins. What impact does Clark's contract have on the other players you see? Clark's agreement has raised the bar. There is a lot to take in, and it's obvious that Clark's influence is upending the system, but let's take a moment to reflect on how Caitlin Clark became such a huge figure in the WNBA. It wasn't just about her talent, though that plays a big part. It was also about her ability to attract attention both on and off the court. She's more than just a basketball player. She's a brand. Her games are events, and her name attracts sponsors, which is why her new contract is so important. It's not just compensating her for her contributions to the league. Clark's appeal extends beyond the typical sports fan. She has been able to attract casual viewers who may not have previously followed the WNBA, but now tune in just to watch her play. As a result, the league had to move swiftly to acquire her. With the level of attention she is bringing to the sport, the WNBA cannot afford to lose a player of her caliber, but this deal is not without its controversies. Some athletes and supporters wonder if it's justifiable for one player to sign such a large contract. The WNBA has long struggled with salary disparity, and this new contract only serves to emphasize that tensions between players may worsen as others continue to earn much less. After all, when one player receives a huge payout, other players are sure to notice, and it's not just about the money. Clark's contract could also change the way teams are built. With so much of the salary cap potentially tied up in one player, how will teams balance their rosters? Will we see more top-heavy teams where one or two players get the majority of the salary, leaving less for the rest of the roster? Or will the league find a way to make it work? These are the kinds of questions that the WNBA will need to answer in the coming years, but there's another side to this story. While Clark's contract is a game changer for the league, it's also a reflection of the WNBA's growth. The fact that the league is able to offer such a lucrative deal to one of its players shows how far women's basketball has come. Just a few years ago, a contract like this would have been unthinkable. Now it's a reality, and it's a sign that the WNBA is moving in the right direction. Still, there are challenges ahead. The league will need to find a way to balance the growing salaries with its overall financial health. While Clark's Contract is a huge win for her and the WNBA. It's also a reminder that there's still work to be done to ensure that all players are fair compensated. The league has made progress, but there's still a long way to go. What does this mean for future of the WNBA? For starters, it's obvious that the league is placing a lot of money on players like Caitlin Clark to lead it. The Minnesota Connections and other teams are already feeling the pressure to match Clark's star power, but it's not just about the players. The league as a whole is in a unique position at the moment due to increased interest and visibility. As we move forward, it will be interesting to see how other players react to Clark's contract. Will more players push for similar contracts? Will the WNBA be able to meet the demand for higher salaries? Most importantly, how will the league manage to maintain its competitive balance in the face of these changes? Clark's contract is only one piece of the puzzle, but it's a crucial one. As the WNBA develops and grows, players like Clark will be at the forefront, driving the conversation and influencing the future of women's basketball. One of the main concerns is how teams like the Minnesota Lynx will compete with franchises that can offer massive contracts to superstars. It is evident that Caitlin Clark's new contract marks a turning point for the WNBA, but it's not just about one player, it's about the league's future. The WNBA is moving toward a system where star players have more power and influence, as demonstrated by Clark's deal with her team. However, what does this mean for smaller market teams? Will they be able to draw and keep talent in the face of such competition? For instance, athletes like Sabrina Ionescu have helped the New York Liberty grow into a dominant team, but now that Caitlin Clark is establishing the new benchmark, it won't be long before other celebrities start requesting comparable contracts. The WNBA finals may soon be dominated by a small number of wealthy teams, making it difficult for smaller teams to compete. This leads us to the fans and what Caitlin Clark's contract means for them. In the first place, it means we can anticipate seeing even more of Clark's signature playmaking in the upcoming seasons. Her ability to shoot from deep, dish out assists, and control the tempo of the game has made her one of the most exciting players to watch. Fans are happy to see the league recognizing her worth, but they're also curious about what this could mean for ticket prices, merchandise, and the overall fan experience. There is already conjecture that ticket prices may increase as teams attempt to offset the cost of these larger contracts. Although Clark's games are already must-see events, her new contract is expected to increase demand for tickets. The WNBA will need to figure out how to combine the extra revenue with maintaining the sport's accessibility for its core fan base, not to mention the effect on the next generation of players. There is hope that more players will decide to stay in the WNBA and build their careers here as a result of deals like Clark's, which send a message to aspiring athletes that there is real money to be made in women's basketball. However, the road ahead isn't entirely smooth. There are still many obstacles that the WNBA must overcome in order to sustain this level of growth. The league will need to continue developing its brand, growing its fan base, and obtaining more lucrative sponsorships in order to keep up with the rising cost of player salaries. Caitlin, with all of this said, let's take a moment to discuss Clark's role off the court. Clark's contract indicates that the league is prepared to move forward, but it also serves as a reminder that much work remains. For the time being, however, Clark is leading the charge and her contract has set the tone for what's to come. She is leaving the competition in the dust, and there is no slowing her down. Clark has become a spokesperson for the WNBA in addition to her basketball prowess, which naturally adds another level of complexity to the discussion. The distinction between an athlete and a brand ambassador is becoming more hazy, and Clark is leading the charge in this movement. As her fame increases, so does her impact on the players of the future. How much of Clark's contract is about her performance on the court, and how much is about her marketability off the court? Young athletes, especially girls, are looking up to Clark as a role model because they want to succeed like her on and off the court. Clark's influence extends beyond basketball. She is encouraging a new generation of athletes to set high goals and push the limits of what is feasible in women's sports, but pressure comes along with all this attention. The demands of Clark's new contract go beyond just winning games. She is expected to lead the WNBA into a new era of growth and success. The pressure is enormous, but if there is one thing we know about Caitlin Clark, it is that she thrives under pressure. Her performances in high-stress situations have been nothing short of legendary, and she is the type of player who rises to the occasion and takes charge of the game when everything is on the line. With this new contract, all eyes will be on her to see if she can continue to deliver at the highest level. But Clark isn't just playing for herself. She's playing for the WNBA's future. Her success is linked to the league's success, and as she develops her personal brand, she is also contributing to the sport as a whole. This contract is about more than just Caitlin Clark. It's about the future of women's basketball as the WNBA develops, and its players like Clark will influence its course. Her contract serves as both a reminder of the league's progress and a testament to the difficulties that still face it. What's next for Caitlin Clark and the WNBA? Well, one thing is for sure. The league is in good hands with Clark at the helm. She's leaving the competition in the dust, and her new contract is just the beginning of what promises to be an exciting new era for women's basketball. However, the league still has a long way to go before it can truly compete with the NBA in terms of salaries and sponsorship. But with stars like Clark leading the way, the future looks brighter than ever.